and we're going to pick the selections. When we get to the Knicks pick, the fans are going to select at each round, at each number, 19, 21, and 32. And here's how we're going to do it. Once we get to, let's say, 19, you're going to call us up, 657-383-1509, and we're going to take the first four callers, and they're going to give us the four candidates at each spot. So the first four callers are going to give you the four choices, and then the chat is going to vote on who that pick is. There is a poll in the chat that will go around with the four choices. The chat is going to select who that player is for the Knicks. So we're gonna have some fun with it, man. Let's go ahead and rock with it. But first off, let's go through some news, fellas, because the draft news and rumors are coming in hot and heavy. Shout out Jonathan Wasserman of Bleacher Report. He reported yesterday, first and foremost, P, that the Knicks were trying to trade 19 and 21 to get up to 14, where Golden State is right now, but Golden State turned it down. What you think about just the whole concept of trading up and what transpired yesterday?
I like the aggressiveness. Nothing wrong with being aggressive. I don't know if I want to trade 19 and 21 for 14, though, for me personally.
Yeah.
I feel like this draft is a lot deeper than a lot of people know or expect it to be. So I feel like at 19 and 21, we could get a couple guys. Now, if the Knicks are trying to do a little bit of saving and not have to pay 2 first-round picks, even though they're in the back half, I guess. Mm-hmm. But let's not shoot ourselves in the foot trying to be too thirsty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think whoever – in a way that the draft is, whoever is there at 14 that they want so bad, even if he's not there, somebody just as good or potentially better could be there at 19, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you see a lot of depth there. I'm intrigued too. I mean, 14, ideally, I'd love to get into like 10.
Exactly.
If you have a shot at a Moody or, somebody like that. But 14, obviously, not obviously, but what Chad Ford is reporting is that Duarte is a target there for the Knicks. I mean, I'm not sure I like him. I like him as a player. Don't get me wrong. I think he could help immediately. But I'm not sure I would trade 19 and 21 to move up to 14 just to get him. I mean, JD, what do you think about that?
I mean, you're giving up additional assets, and you're at a sweet spot. And if the draft is, as many is saying, that it's a deep, talented draft, you're only moving up 4 or 5 spots, and it's not going to be for a James Bouknight, it's not going to be for Scotty Barnes or anything like that. So if it's a Chris Duarte, if it's a Davion Mitchell, is the gap between those two players and say a Trey Murphy and a Trey Mann, is the difference that much to where you have to trade a 32nd or a future asset, maybe a player? I don't think it is. So I think if you're not going to make a significant jump, or you're not going to receive a ready-made player in return, then moving 4 or 5 spots, I don't see what's the real value in it. Unless someone drops, you're making the move right on the spot and someone drops and nobody expected, then I would stand pat.
Corey, I like Duarte, though, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I like him. Obviously, he's 24 years old. You can plug and play right away. Obviously, you get a lot of value on that rookie deal for someone who can come in and hit it from all 3 levels to me, especially from the mid-range, especially from 3, over 40-something% from 3 at Oregon. Shoots it nice off the pick and roll. What'd you see from him when you scouted him this year?
Yeah, I mean, look, the kid could hoop. And I will say, though, like being aggressive and trading up for a kid like Duarte, who is going to be a vet on the team age-wise, he's like almost the same age as Randall. Mm-hmm. He better come in and hoop right away.
Yeah, you better be ready to go.
The margin 100%. Of error for a guy like him is 0. Mm-hmm. But the kid could hoop. I mean, his shot is buttery smooth, man. And look, I think that he's a shot maker and that could help right away. And you saw in the playoffs, man, like those guys like Reggie Bullock, they hit shots in the regular season, but it becomes a little bit more inconsistent when the playoffs hit. And Duarte could do a little bit himself. He can do a little bit more off the bounce and having guys create for him. And I think he'd be more comfortable in a role that when you get to the playoffs, that maybe his offense might, actually translate there. But with that said, counting on a rookie is also not like the most ideal situation. The NBA game is hard, even for guys that are older. So it's for trade up for a guy like him it's a tough one for me because like the other guy said, there are guys at 19 and 21 that are equally intriguing that could equally solve some of the Knicks issues. Now I will say, like, if the trade up was for Davion Mitchell, that's my guy in the draft. I'm all for that. If you can get him at 14, he slid there. He offers something a little bit different than some of those other guys. But for a guy like Duarte, he's a little bit too old. He's a little too old for me. And if he doesn't hit, then it's a tough miss. But I think the way the Knicks handled the draft last year in their trade up scenarios, I think they earned the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's true. True too.
And CP, if I may add, also, to piggyback off his point, Leon Roses has a little bit of pressure here because last year, there was a lot of talk about him wanting to trade up for Obi, and that didn't materialize. He still got his guy, and here we are. We don't know necessarily what is his future in terms of how can we maximize, that pick for this organization. So now this year, you get into a situation where you trade up for Duarte. He better hoop because he's going to face pressure. Him as a player, Leon Rose as a GM, the organization is going to face pressure if they, in fact, give up assets to trade up. They better get it right.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you there. Now, if they don't trade up, what we're hearing is from Now Wasserman and also Mark Berman, P, is that one of the picks they may like at either 19 and 21 is one Miles McBride out of West Virginia, man. What do you think about Miles McBride?
Love Miles McBride. Me and Corey talked earlier this morning about how he's like a Thibodeau type of player. I like the fact that he can play on ball, off ball. I think over the years at West Virginia, I looked at him as just a defensive guy. But over this past year, he really impressed me with the leaps and steps he took forward with his offensive ability, creating off the dribble, out of the PNR. Still got ways to go, but I think for a guy that was just a defensive guard, as West Virginia shows that they can produce. Shout out to Cuzzo Javon over in Phoenix. I think that's a great type of fit. When we look at Julius Randle and RJ Barrett and how we want to allow them to have the basketball and create for others. If he can catch and shoot with the defensive pressure that he can put on the guard dominant, league that we're in, I think he would be a nice fit for us. But I would like to see if we can get him later.
Right.
I'm under the impression that at 19 and 21, there are so many guards in this draft that somebody's going to have to fall and be there at 32. I want to get those wings that Thibodeau talked about when he was asked about the shooting wings. Like I'm really dialed in on them. We need perimeter shooting on this team.
Yeah. Well, 100%, man. And one of those wings I'm looking at is Trey Murphy, man.
Yes.
I'm looking at Trey Murphy at Virginia, and what we're also hearing is that, well, at least from Wasserman, we'll see what happens, but we're hearing that Zaire Williams from Stanford is moving all the way up where he could be taken at 8th by the Magic. And if that happens, you could have a cascading effect on down where maybe Murphy, ends up slipping to the Knicks at 19 because it's been thought that he may get picked before that.
No, yeah. Trey Murphy, to me, is one of my favorite prospects in this league just because I think 90% of the NBA is role players. And I think he is ideal when you talk about prototypical role players. 6'9", absolute great length, defensively knows how to use it, which is what a lot of players struggle with, knowing how to use it. And then on the offensive side of the basketball, he has self-awareness and self-identity. One of the best things for role players is to know that they're a role player. And I think he's a guy that knows who he is. He knows his limits and his capabilities, which is why at Virginia, you didn't see him try to make too many plays off the dribble himself because it's just not his game. He's a catch and shoot guy, loves the corners. And like I said, he's 6'9", so when he gets in transition, he does have the ability to finish. And I think those are the type of guys that we should surround RJ Barrett and Julius Randle with. So I'm praying that he's there at 19.
Me too.
I think that there's too many intelligent GMs in the NBA that see the way that the game is moving forward to allow him to be there at 19. But if he is, let's take him.
Yeah, ideally, I would go Murphy, and then I would see if I could get Man. We'll see if Jared Butler's there. You got a lot of options, man. If McBride is there, as Tibbs said, you got a guy that's a pesky on-ball defender. Obviously, Tibbs would love that. Can knock down the 41% from three last year. McBride would be good. I like Quentin Grimes as a later pick, man. I think Quentin Grimes would be a nice pickup for us as well, man. Corey, on the Zaire Williams thing. It was said that he didn't have a great year last year at Stanford. Was a bit down, but could be your prototypical 3-and-D wing. Why do you think he's rising up the charts? So fast right now.
I mean, he has to be shooting the leather off the ball in these workouts. That has to be the reason that he would be rising. My thing with him is that I almost feel like, and I felt this way even before the Stanford stuff, because, I was watching the U19s and the Sierra Canyon stuff. I always thought he was almost like misplaced as this creator, scorer. Like people think he's like got this kind of like primary shot creator, Paul George type game. And I never saw that. For me, like his game was always like, yo, can he be Mikal Bridges? Like it scares me that a team like Orlando might go get him at 8, thinking that he's this guy who's going to, help them with their scoring woes when, I mean, look, you can make all the excuses in the book, and there's a lot of good ones for him. He had a tough year, family stuff, COVID, Stanford was living out of hotels without the home games, all of that. But at the end of the day, a lot of it was on him too. It's not like it's completely inexcusable. His numbers were, they weren't just bad. They might be the worst shooting percentages for any lottery pick ever.
Wow.
If he went in the lottery, like real bad. And even like there, he hit a famous game winner at Sierra Canyon. You go back, rewind it, watch the clip. Like his handle's sloppy. Like he's not, I think he's just being misplaced. But if he's a guy that you can get later, like if you took him with one in 19 or 21, then I can see it, because now the risk is a little bit less. And I think that he does get after it defensively. I do buy his jump shot and catch and shoot situations. And now you're expecting him to be a role player and not to take on the pressure of being a top 10 guy who's going to try to save a franchise, like be one of your core members like that.
Yeah.
So, it's for him, it's all relative. He's got to be like he might not have missed in these workouts if he's going to be taking that high. But I think, and from what I've heard, it's like once the Orlando news drop, it's like it's Orlando. But if he doesn't get picked there, then he could, have a fall.
Yeah,
So
I've seen some mocks with the Knicks taking him at 19 and 21. So I think that's interesting too. All right, so before we get into the mock draft, last question for P and JD. If we're sitting at 19, some mock drafts I see us taking Kai Jones out of Texas, the big man out of Texas, for the upside potential. At 19, let's start with 19. Would you go, given the state of the Knicks right now, and the state of the roster right now, in need of stars and star potential, would you go with that upside potential, or would you go the safe route? JD, I'll go with you. Go ahead. Would you roll the dice on that upside potential, or would you go with someone more safe?
I think it depends on if you have. Let's say if Trey Mann and Jared Butler, you have a few guards available. I think if you stand pat with 19 and 21 and you have multiple players to where you feel like, okay, I can get this upside player that dropped at 19.
Yeah.
You have 2 picks, and I know we want to hit on everyone, but 19, 20, 21, now you have the ability to swing for the fences. A lot of organizations down late, that's what they do. But for the Knicks, I think out of those 2 picks, you try to get a ready-made player. That's why I like a Jared Butler, even if a Trey Mann and a Sharif Cooper is on the board. I'm going with Jared Butler. Obviously, hopefully all the medicals check out with the Knicks staff. He's been cleared to play. But you could swing for the fences. I'm going with the ready-made players. I'm trying to give Tom Thibodeau, everything that he needs to maximize, his ability to coach this team, especially now that we're going to go into next season with some expectations here.
Fair point.
And I think that's part of the reason why they're looking maybe to trade up for a Duarte or some of these players, because I think the front office also feels a little bit of those expectations going into next year.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. P, what about you, man?
I'm going to be honest with you. Kai Jones is one of my favorites as far as bigs in this draft, so I wouldn't even expect him to be there at 19. And I'm like JD, man. Let's give Thibodeau what he wants, and I think that's some guys that will be able to contribute right away. Not saying that Kai won't, but when I look at our front court and how Nick Nation loves Mitch apparently so much, let's go get those guards.
Yeah.
We need, like I said, we need to specialize in perimeter shooting and guard play. So let's stay locked in on there. But it wouldn't matter who's on the board. If like Trey Murphy is on the board, I don't care who else is out there. We got to get Trey Murphy. So I'm with JD. Let's get the ready guys.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, man. Well, number one, with the bigs, and I think at that spot, that's where you would be looking. I would go that way last. It's more insurance policy. I'm not ready to give up on my guy Mitch. That's my guy. And to me, we got to get help on the perimeter first and foremost. So I'm going more need than, say, that high upside player. And I just feel like there's a lot of guards / combo guards in that slot, that 19 and 20 range that could definitely help us. So let's see what happens, man. But let's get into the mock draft. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP, Corey Taliba, my guy P from House of Highlights, Through the Wire podcast, JD from JD Sports Talk. We're going to get into the mock draft. And remember, you guys at home are going to select the Knicks pick at 19 and 21. Call us up right now, 657-383-1509, or call us on the KnicksFanTV Discord. Once we get to 19, the first 4 callers are gonna give us each their selection, their candidates, and then the chat is going to vote on who's gonna be selected by the Knicks. So, all right, let's start this off, fellas. I'm gonna start it off with the easy one. Let me get these highlights off here. Detroit has been starting all draft like they don't know where they're going with the first pick. But I'll well, first and foremost, I want to get to 32. So let me just hit restart draft real quick because I got to dip into the second round. So let's go full draft. And this website is Fanspo. So shout out Fanspo. Very interesting. You guys ever used this before?
Yeah, I use it for my mock draft on my YouTube. Yeah,
Fanspo.
I'm seeing it all around, but I haven't used it.
Interesting.
It looks to be a fun site.
Yeah, I just did a quick Google and that's what came up. All right, so first pick.
CP, are you going to take every minute on the clock on this one?
No. We got all night tomorrow night to go through it in agony with ESPN, man. So we're gonna run through this one quick. So I'm going Cade first. Corey, let's just go round robin. Go ahead with the second one.
All right. So are we doing this? How we think the teams are going?
How should we do it? That's a good question.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit of both. Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to pigeonhole anybody into it. Just go ahead and a little bit of both.
So I will say I've had I know it seems like Jalen Green is like a lock to go to Houston right now, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's where everybody has been mocking him up. I've had him number 2 on my board, so I think it makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna take him there. I'm gonna take Jalen Green for Houston. But I will say there is a part of me that feels like this is a huge smokescreen. I really feel like they hired a bunch of people from Draft Twitter. Draft Twitter, their style is Evan Mobley over Jalen Green. So there's a part of me that thinks this is a smokescreen, but some of the guys that I do trust that are doing these mocks do have intel, saying Jalen. So it may not be a smokescreen. It may be as obvious as Cade. So I'm gonna go Jalen Green, but there's something about it that seems a little bit off to me.
Interesting. All right, so we're gonna go Jalen Green going to H-Town. All right. Up next, P with the Cleveland Cavaliers on the clock.
Shout out to Corey. He made our job easy. It was between those two. He took Jalen Green, so we have to go Evan Mobley.
All right.
USC. Yeah, people are going to question, can Mobley and Jared Allen play together for us?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. What do you think?
We're gonna work it out. If it doesn't work, we make Jared Allen expandable, and we just continue to go like that. But we're gonna give it a shot because Evan Mobley is such an intriguing prospect that there is a chance that they could play together. And it isn't like Cleveland is playing for anything next year.
True.
They're terrible. So, what do they have to lose with experimenting two bigs in the front court?
So P's going best player available, possible twin towers, the second coming of Olajuwon and Sampson. He's going for any saying we. So P's all the way in on this mock draft.
I'm drafting with these teams in my mind.
Let's go.
Turn it to their GM. So,
all right, let's go. JD repping the Raptors. Could the Raptors trade the 4th pick? Would they go for Simmons? Are they going to trade Siakam? Raptors got a lot of options here, man, with the 4th pick. But let's just assume no trades, and we're going to draft straight up. Where are you going?
I think this is a tough decision for them. I do think they are seriously considering Scotty Barnes here. I think it's going to come down to the wire. But in the end, I think they'll go with Jalen Suggs.
Okay.
They see the ending here with Kyle Lowry. Not sure if Fred VanVleet is your facilitating point guard. He played well with Kyle Lowry. They want to duplicate that with a younger Suggs, a passionate player, passionate city. I think the personality, the player is a match in Toronto.
All right, so Jalen Suggs off the board. All right, so up next we have, who's up next? The Orlando Magic.
It's you, I think.
That's you, CP.
The Orlando Magic. You know what?
The draft starts here.
The draft starts here. I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I'm not going in order. I'm going to switch it up. We were just talking about this kid during the pre-show. I'm going with the G League Ignites, Jonathan Kuminga, going to the Orlando Magic.
It's funny. That's probably a shocker, the way things are going in the mocks right now.
Yeah. So I'm rolling the dice right now. All right, Corey's up repping the OKC Thunder. Real quick, I want to shout out King Matthews with the super chat. He says, I hope we get Trey Murphy because he might get picked up before 19, and I would like to see Chris Duarte too, but he might get picked up by the Washington Wizards or Golden State Warriors. Okay, salute King Matthews for the super chat. All right, Corey, up next.
All right. I like the Kuminga pick for Orlando. I think good job by you. All right. So OKC at pick 6. I think that if Scotty Barnes doesn't go to Orlando, I think OKC will take Scotty Barnes. Yeah. And I actually like the fit there a lot. I mean, I'm a little concerned for the fans of the franchise with all of this smoke that they're trying to pawn off SGA, who, I mean, that kid is a baller. So I don't know what their actual plan is, but if they're planning on keeping that dude, him, Scotty Barnes, and even a little dash of Poku there's a lot of fun playmaking going on in that lineup. So, I'll take Scotty Barnes and his defensive versatility.
Interesting. Up next, we got P repping the Dubs, Golden State Warriors. P, how you feeling, man?
This is tough because obviously, they're going to be looking to try to trade this pick. Everybody is Davion Mitchell with the Warriors right here if they were to keep their pick. Not me. I am old school. I do not believe in using a top 10 pick for a backup. You know what I mean? He would instantly for the next 7 years be their backup point guard with all intention. So with that being said, we are going to take a leap and we're going to take Moses Moody. Moody.
P throw the wrench in this thing. I like that.
He's going to come in and he's not going to be a superstar, which we know at Golden State, but he's going to shoot and he's going to defend and he's going to come up behind Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a time in the coming years to be a part of this team. So,
all right,
taking Moses Moody.
P's going to Moses Moody. I like that. Okay, JD up next, repping Orlando again, coming up with an 8 pick.
Wow, you put me on the spot now. You definitely shook up the war room now. So now we're thinking. So we went with Kuminga at 5, right, CP?
Yes.
So now we went with Kuminga at 5. We got a 4. We have Jonathan Isaac. And the Golden State Warriors picked Moody, which means James Bouknight is available. We do have Cole Anthony, but let's go with another talented guard and mix it up and see who pans out of those two. So I'm going to go with James Bouknight at number 8.
James Bouknight going to Disney World. Okay.
Reuniting the AAU squad.
I like
with
that.
Cole Anthony and Bouknight.
I like that, man.
That's
I like
a great
that.
draft night for the Magic,
Yes.
man. Kuminga and Bouknight. Wow.
Absolutely. All right. With the Kings on the clock, having just picked Tyrese Halliburton last year. I hope Jay from Florida is not watching this. That's not his guy, but he turned out to be a pretty damn good player. We have Harrison Barnes making a boatload of money here. You have Marvin Bagley in the front court. I think they go with some youth here, and I think they go Franz Wagner.
Great pick, CP.
Out of
Great
Michigan.
pick.
I think Franz Wagner here goes to Sacramento, where rookies go to die. Don't sign the max contract. Whatever you do, man, do not sign your second deal. Get up out of there early.
Oh, man.
All right, Corey's up next with the Wizards with the Grizzlies on the clock. No.
Yeah.
This Pelicans on the clock. This was the trade.
They traded.
Oh, so this is accurate. This is accurate.
Right.
It's the Grizzlies pick. Yeah.
Okay, my mistake.
Pelicans are back at 17
My
now.
mistake.
All right, so Memphis. I love this kid as a player. I don't know how much I love the fit here, but I think that the reason that they traded up was for this kid, especially if they can't move up again, which a lot of rumors are trying to move up again. But I'm going to take the Australian Josh Giddey, 6'8" point guard. It's a little bit the fit's a little weird.
The fit is interesting with Morant. Like, do you think they put him in at the wing? What do you think they slide him in at?
I think that I think they would view him kind of like a Joe Ingles, not to make an Australian to Australian comparison there.
Yeah.
But, I think maybe that means they really believe in his shot making ability. But look, I think that league is a good league, and he had a good year. I mean, 11 points, 7.4 rebounds, 7.4 assists. Like, those other numbers are legit. He's going to be able to fit in, play with pace, gives them size. He can, I think line up at the 3. And I like Ja, like cutting off ball, running out in transition, not having to have the ball a lot. But I think it's a little bit of a weird fit. But Giddey's a high IQ kid with a lot of talent, so I got to trust that he's knocking that shot down like Zaire Williams is in these workouts.
Interesting. All right, P, you up next, man.
With the Hornets, we are here to shake up the draft just like the Warriors did.
Ooh.
So we drafted LaMelo last year.
Yeah.
He did everything he was supposed to do. We got the guards next to him that fit perfect. Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, even Malik Monk did his thing last year. Transition, wing, Miles Bridges, highlight film. PJ Washington had some moments, highs and lows, but a good pick and roll partner for LaMelo.
Sure.
The only thing we don't have here in Charlotte is a big. So we are going to try to hit a home run pick, and we're going to take Kai Jones out of Texas, a former track star. He beats everybody up the court. He's shown signs of shooting and stretching the floor, a little rim protection, switchability with the nice quick lateral quickness from the track and field things.
Interesting.
We're going to take him. We're going to take Kai Jones at the 11th pick, and if we hit this one, oh my gosh, we'll have a nice team out there in Charlotte.
Very interesting pick. P shaking things up. I like it, man. All right, JD, we got you up here with the San Antonio Spurs. What are you thinking here?
Wow. I think the Spurs, they're looking at maybe Keon Johnson here. But I think they're going to go with it's a Spurs pick. Alperen Sengun.
Okay.
I think they take a flyer with this guy. They're always in position to do so.
True story.
He's a very talented player. And at this point, they're close to maybe going out on a full rebuild. So why not go with some upside here?
Very interesting. So he's going with Alperen Sengun. He's going international with the Spurs. All right, I'm up next with the Indiana Pacers. just acquired Karis LeVert in the Oladipo deal. You got Sabonis, who's planted squarely in at the 4. Miles Turner could be on the way out. Where do they go there will be interesting. I think this is an interesting pickup, man. This is an interesting pick. You know what? I'm gonna go with maybe they see. I don't know if they move LeVert to the 3. I'll go Mitchell here. I don't know. Maybe they throw him back there with Brogdon. You have 2 defensive, tenacious defenders there. We'll see if Mitchell's offense translates to the next level. Obviously, he took a huge leap this past year with Baylor. I'm going to go with Mitchell here. And maybe he comes off the bench, or maybe they start him in the backcourt with Brogdon. You play Brogdon off ball, Mitchell on ball, or vice versa. So give you a little bit of versatility. I'm going with Davion Mitchell to the Indiana Pacers.
And if you're Leon Rose, as soon as this pick is made, you're on the phone and you're asking for Malcolm Brogdon.
Hey,
make a deal. You never know.
A lot of good options here, man. A lot of good options. All right, Corey. Warriors back up with the 14th pick. Where you going?
All right. So the Warriors brought in Davion Mitchell. They brought in Moses Moody. They brought in Trey Murphy. And they brought in Chris Duarte for a 2-on-2 workout, probably to see who's going to be going at this pick. Mm-hmm. Mitchell's off the board. Moody's off the board. So that's going to leave us with Trey Murphy and Chris Duarte.
Yeah.
And I would want them to go Trey Murphy, but I think that they're going to go Duarte if it comes down to it.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Duarte at 14.
And who was the pick at 7 again? Who's it?
Moody.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going Duarte at 14. Chris Duarte off the board. All right, Knicks fans, we're coming up on 15. Remember, call in. We need 4 selections for the chat to vote on right now. So to everybody on the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. This is our ultimate mock draft, interactive mock draft, where you guys are going to select for the Knicks. And we're coming up, so make sure that you guys call us up. 657-383-1509. Okay. So who do we got now? P's up with the Wizards?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Tough pick right here, because as a GM, I'm looking at the draft board and I'm seeing that Jalen Johnson from Duke has fallen. Keon Johnson from Tennessee has fallen. Yeah. Corey Kispert, the shooter, is still there, and Trey Murphy is here. Mm-hmm. So I have to start thinking, are we moving Bradley Beal? What's happening with that? Because if so, this would be a nice time to take Keon Johnson and try to bet on his potential. But then if we keep him and Russell, a guy like Trey Murphy makes a lot of sense. Jalen Johnson can get repetitive because we have Rui. Give me Trey Murphy. From Virginia. We've struggled to nail the small forward spot in Washington.
It's a good pick.
Now, regardless of what we do with Bradley Beal, even if we trade Bradley Beal for young assets, those assets will be able to come and play with Trey Murphy and Rui Hachimura. So we got something going.
It's a good pickup.
And P, I thought we were gonna.
Sorry, Knicks fans.
Knicks fans are crying right now.
I want my Knicks fans. I'm a Knicks fan too, but I want my Knicks fans to understand that these are possibilities we might have to deal with tomorrow. So don't get your hopes up on any one player in this class.
True story.
This is the reality.
P throwing some realism in this thing, fans. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. I like that. Let's go. All right, JD. OKC with one of many picks in the first round.
So we have OKC.
Yeah.
And
they pick Scotty Barnes with the 6th pick.
Scotty Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
We have. I think they go here. I think they look back at the Ibaka days, and they try to go with Usman Garuba.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And I think they go with that pick.
Going Garuba here. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. So, coming up with the Pelicans, who just made a splash move acquiring Jonas Valanciunas and the 17th pick, jettisoning Eric Bledsoe and that nasty contract. And they're saying that Memphis doesn't plan on keeping Bledsoe, so he's going to be on the move again. They're trying to keep Zion happy. So I think this is Keon Johnson here. I think Keon Johnson would make the most sense here. It sounds like they want to go after Lowry as their point guard. They have Kira Lewis, who they drafted last year, as a potential point guard in waiting. Obviously, you have Ingram at the wing. You have Zion at the 4. You have Valanciunas at the 5. I think they go Keon Johnson here out of Tennessee with the 17th pick. All right, back up again, OKC. Sam Presti, man, willing and dealing.
All right, I think that they took two somewhat safe prospects in Garuba and Scotty Barnes. So I think they're going to go for a little bit of a swing here, and I think they're going to take Jalen Johnson in this spot.
All right, Jalen Johnson out of Duke is off the board.
And let the arguing between Knicks fans begin.
The arguing begin. Who's it gonna be? Somebody said I'm trying to swindle the draft to get Kispert to the Knicks. Listen, man. I'm just participating in the game. You guys be the judge here. Here we go. All right, Knicks fans. Let's hear from the phones. We're gonna go to the phones. See what the people got to say. Call us up 657-383-1509. We're gonna take the first 4 candidates, and then the chat is gonna vote. All right, just give me your candidate. You could always call back in afterwards. Just give me a candidate. First up, Ari from Manhattan. Ari, who are you voting for with the remaining selections with the 19th pick?
Scroll down the screen a little bit so I can see who else is on the thing. Was Trey Mann picked up or no?
No, he's not. So you putting Trey Mann in the running?
Yeah, I would put Trey Mann in the running, but
okay. All right, that's it. That's it, bro.
My number one choice.
All right, that's it, bro. You call back. I'm gonna hang up on you and call back. This is just for the game. This isn't the Ari hour right now. We'll get back to you, bro. Thanks for the call. All right, next up, D from North Carolina. Who's your pick?
I know we need a point guard, but I'm gonna have to go with Kispert because they said they want to shoot him.
Okay, thank you
and he's the best prospect.
Thank you very much, sir. You can call back. Thank you very much. All right, Angel from Philly up next. Who's your vote?
Yo, I'm going with the lightning in a bottle, Cameron Thomas, LSU.
Ooh, he's going for the bucket getter. Salute to Angel. All right, call back, bro. Appreciate the call. All right. Dave is in the green room. We getting calls so fast, Dave can't keep up with the screening. All right, so we're waiting on this next call to get screened. And then we'll see. Well, 201 just dropped. All right, so in the meantime, let me get my poll set up here. All right, who vote on the 19th pick? Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys.
Man, I can't wait for tomorrow, man. To see this scenario play
hilarious.
out. Man.
This is going to be hilarious, man. All right, so one vote. I need my glasses, man. Hold on. Pardon me, people. Let me get my specs on. This is serious business right now. All right, so there's one vote for Corey Kispert. One vote for Trey Mann. Hang tight. One vote for Cam Buckets, who said that who during his draft interview said Tibbs felt like he'd be a great pick, an ideal fit for the Knicks. All right, so we need one more candidate for the fans to vote on. Well, hang on. All right, here we go. Val, who's your choice? Who's your choice? You can't pick Trey Mann, Kispert, or Cam Thomas. Who's your choice for the chat to vote on?
Jared Butler.
Jared Butler. Okay, thank you, sir. You can call back. So, Jared Butler. Okay. All right, so we have our candidates in the chat. I'm going to launch this poll right now. And then I'm going to talk to my panelists and get their opinion. All right, so the poll should be coming up now. All right, man. P, I'll start with you. I mean, you don't have to pick from the 4, but if you were the Knicks in this slot right now, who are you going to take? Who would you take here?
tough because as a Knicks fan and as a guy who's put a lot of time into this draft class and just the draft and overall, I've never came up with a scenario where we would have a chance to get Corey Kispert. This is the first time in my months of doing this draft stuff that I've even seen a parallel for these two to cross paths. I guess Corey Kispert because we need the shooting that bad, but it's hard for a guy like me, who I am. It's hard to pass up on a Cam Thomas type bucket because the NBA is always in need for those buckets, and the following team is the Hawks. So as a Knicks fan, it's also eating me up that we could potentially mess this up, and then they get the guy that we should have got, and he explodes with them, and it haunts us. So I'm gonna take Corey Kispert to make sure their asses don't get him.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hope that they pass up on the diamond in the rough, and we get that diamond in the rough at 21. So give me Corey Kispert out of Gonzaga.
All right, JD, where are you going, man?
I first want to say Kispert is the guy in this scenario that drops. I think it'll be someone, whether it's Kispert. This scenario it's very likely to happen tomorrow, where someone in those teams drops to, and it's that outlier player that you have to decide on, which makes it tough in the war room. So I wouldn't be surprised. He's not on this selection. I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks say, well, we can go Trey Mann, Butler, or Cooper at 21. Let's go get Isaiah Jackson now. He's a CAA client. He's not the sexy pick.
He's not feeling that.
He's not the pick that people would want. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going Jared Butler. I'm not playing no games. Give me the guy that can play in the pick and roll. He's a ball handler. He's solid, and I think he's one of the best shooters in the draft.
Corey, who would you go with here if you were the Knicks?
All right, so I'll touch on Butler first because, Pete, we talked about him earlier this morning.
Yes,
we talked about how much we love him, how he'd be a great fit. Out of this list, it would be hard for me to not go Jared Butler. But I will say, since the last time I talked to you, P, I did hear that his medicals are, like, bad. Like, bad. And I know he got cleared by the NBA, but the team doctors still have to clear him.
That's what I'm hearing. Team doctors still got to clear him.
And I heard that, like, there's a lot of people thinking that he might slip into the second round.
Wow.
They're that bad.
Wow.
So, as a player, I love Jared Butler, but, if the medicals are what they are, then, I'll try to pick somebody else. And in that case, I'm going to go with Cam Thomas, man.
Ooh.
That dude is he's a bucket in every sense of the word. He has been the best scorer on the floor at everywhere he's been at. I mean, he can shoot it from the logo. He can get to it in the mid post. He's got a little bit of that Devin Booker elbow, jab step, get you to bite. Now he's at the rim, or he's got you in the air. I mean, that kid's offensive package is ridiculous. One of the highest usage rates in the draft, one of the lowest turnover rates in the draft. He protects the ball. Might not make the best decisions always, but a coach like Thibodeau, man, I think he'd get the best out of him. And if the Knicks needed something, they needed bucket getters in the playoffs. And I'll tell you right now, he's step on the floor in a playoff game, he's getting buckets tomorrow. So I'm taking Cam Thomas in this scenario.
Oh, man. It's tough choices, man. JD, I like how you took the curveball and you took the fork in the road, man. You went straight. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Jackson just ran us off the road. Look, man, I know some fans are sour on this kid. I'm going with the shooting potential. Corey Kispert out of Gonzaga, man. He's going to hustle. He's going to hustle on defense. He's going to get you some offense. He can put the ball on the floor as well. People didn't like my Joe Harris comparisons because both guys didn't show up in a big spot. But I'm not going to pull that against him in a big game. He's still a young kid. He has a lot of room to grow. And I think he's a guy that can fit right into the team concept that Tom Thibodeau's preaching. I'm intrigued with Thomas and being a bucket getter. Of course, we need buckets. I agree with everybody here. But I'm going Corey Kispert. And the chat agrees. Out of 357 votes, Corey Kispert, ladies and gentlemen, has been selected by Knicks Nation with 48% of the votes. All right.
Man.
That's dope. I like that.
And you imagine you trade up, and then you get a Kispert that gets there at 19.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they have to be careful.
It's interesting. Definitely interesting. All right. Who left off before the fans?
It's on me.
Okay, so P. Okay, so P selecting for the diabolical Atlanta Hawks.
I'm taking Cameron Thomas, and Knicks fans are going to regret it for the next 7 years because he's going to go there with Trae Young.
Cam and Trae Young.
He's literally going to get buckets while Trae Young gets a rest on the bench. Lou Williams is going to exit the stage, and Cam Thomas is going to enter right in there and fill it up while Trae is over there getting rest.
The rich get richer, ladies and gentlemen. The rich get richer. But we're right back to where we need to be with the New York Knicks, baby, number 21. All right, so here you go. You guys know the deal. First 4 callers, give me your choices at the 21st pick. Let me get my my theme music back up here. That was a nice vibe. All right, here we go. All right, first up, JJ from Atlanta. Speaking of which, JJ, who's your vote at 21?
At 21, is Jared Butler still available?
Yes, he is. Okay, thank you very
Jared
much.
Butler.
Thank you very much.
Money right there.
Yeah, okay. All right. He's believing in it. Jared Butler on the list. Thank you, JJ. Feel free to call back. All right,
The
next
medical's
up.
looking tough, JJ.
Yeah. You know, as Corey said that, I shout out my guy Derek Murray from BasketballNews.com. He said the same thing. He said even though the league has cleared him, the individual team doctor still got to clear him. So it's hard to tell whether or not he'll be available. But, you know, I would love that pick for sure. Ice Water from Brooklyn. Who are you going for, man? Jared Butler has already been selected. Who are you going for?
I would have said Jared Butler too, but if the medicals are bad, then it's Sharif Cooper.
Sharif Cooper. Thank you very much, sir. Feel free to call back. All right. So we got Jared Butler. We got Sharif Cooper. Matt from Jersey. Whose name are you throwing in the hat here?
I would like to go with Isaiah Jackson.
Isaiah Jackson. Okay, let me turn down my music because it might be drowning out people for a second.
Come on, Knicks fans, enough of the Isaiah Jackson.
The young Matt is going Isaiah Jackson. That's your pick. All right.
Yeah, Isaiah Jackson.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. Thank you for the call. Feel free
We
to
have
call
2
back.
Mitchell Robinsons on the team.
Yeah. All right. Ari, I see you, man, but I'm gonna let me go to Harry from Brooklyn. New caller, Harry. Who's your selection here at 21?
At 21, I'm going with Deuce McBride.
Okay, there you go. Thank you for the call, Harry. Thank you for the call, man. Salute to Harry. All right, so we have our selection here, people. Let me throw my music back on. Set the tone. All right, so let's get these votes in. Interesting picks. Vote for pick 21. All right, salute to everybody in the chat right now. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Hit that thumbs up button since CP's computer hasn't crashed yet. We're doing all right. We're doing all right now. Halfway through the show. All right. Jared Butler. Sharif. What happened here? Sharif. Cooper. All right. Who else we got here?
I got a quick question, CP, while you typing.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I don't know the answer to, so y'all help me out if you have the answer. How would a guy like Jared Butler be able to play as much as he did in college and can't play medically in
bro,
NBA?
it's so interesting, bro. So interesting.
CP, maybe you should put Trey Mann up there for fun. If it allows you.
Yeah, right. You know what?
Everybody's going crazy in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, bro. Thank you for. You know what? Unfortunately, the poll only takes 4 choices.
There you go.
Sorry, Knicks fans. You know, if you wanted Trey Mann, you should have. You should have called in and voted. All right. This is how we're gonna do it.
Spam them in the comment. That would be my pick.
Yeah.
Everybody's calling, and no offense to people, but out of these 4, I'm not going to them. But I'm doing Trey Mann. We took Corey Kispert
Yeah.
We can take somebody who at a need, but also could be a home run, and Trey Mann could be that, man. I'm going Trey Mann.
Me too. I'm going man as well, bro.
I agree. I think if based on what Corey just said, all right, I'm off Butler now. And I think under this scenario, you got a shooter. I think you continue to add to that with a Trey Mann. You do have to worry about him finishing at the basket, and he's 6'4", so that's a little bit of a concern. But I'm going with the strength. Just keep adding shooting, and I think this is a good scenario for the Knicks.
I would like that lineup, man. Trey Mann at the 1, RJ, Kispert, Julius.
Damn, we starting both rookies, CP?
I'm going for it. I mean, Tibbs probably ain't going for that. It's gonna be Conley or Lowry at the 1. Keep it real. Trey Mann is gonna come off the bench.
Fingers crossed for Lonzo out of left field. I know it's unlikely, but fingers crossed.
You know what? It may be because shout out to Ian Begley. Ian Begley says that it's highly unlikely that the Pelicans match any offer.
Yeah, I'm hearing that their marriage is over. Something is just giving me Bulls vibes.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say
a lot of smoke.
Corey, man. What do you think?
There's a lot of smoke there. I mean, since the trade deadline, there's been the Lonzo smoke. So now, I mean, there's a lot of stuff online. Like Lonzo's done with this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's bound to happen. I'm good with it. If it does, if it doesn't, I'll live. I'll get by. My day will go on. But I like Lonzo. I think he's a good supporting piece to your team.
Yeah.
I think now, like, he knows what he is. I think teams know what he is. And I think he'll find himself in a better situation wherever that may be on his next spot.
Agreed. All right, so the chat has voted for Sharif Cooper here. But since it's my show, I'm going to override him. This is Knicks Fan TV. We're going to go with Trey Mann as the people's vote, only because I felt like if we were allowed an extra choice, he would have gotten selected. You know what I'm saying?
Unless we do a tiebreaker here. Cooper versus Mann.
We'll just go Man. He'd be better. We need buckets. We'll just go
That's
Man.
CP's guy.
Yeah,
CP's like, nah, let's not play with that. I'm going Man. Forget that.
I try not to talk about him too much, but a Trey Mann in the Knicks uniform. Whew, I need that hot off the bench.
I need that, man. Shout out to Greg Film Stuff. He says, to the panel, with the Reddish rumors out there and the Hawks only asking for a first-round pick, should the Knicks look into packaging 19 and 32 for Reddish? And will you still get to add a player at 21?
How about if we're giving them 32 as well, then they asking to take 21. You don't get 19 and 32.
Yeah.
You said you wanted one first-round pick.
Yeah.
Take one first-round pick. I look at 32 as an extension of the first round.
Exactly.
Personally.
In this draft, for sure.
Agreed.
So, if you want the first and the second, you got to take both later ones, and we keep 19.
Agreed. Agreed. I would entertain it. I would definitely entertain it. If you're talking 21 and 32, why not? I would definitely look into that. Okay, so we have selected Trey Mann for the Knicks. Up next is the Lakers. Who's up? Is that Corey's up?
JD, I think.
JD's up.
JD's up.
I'm up.
Yeah.
All right, let me recover here. So we got it's the Lakers, and we have Jared Butler on Cooper. Who else we have on the board?
Dyer Williams, I believe, has not been taken.
You have Sharif Cooper. You got Isaiah Jackson. You got Jared Butler.
I think the Lakers were hoping for Trey Mann here.
Alex McBride is still up there.
I think, again, if the medicals check out okay at this point, the Lakers, the window's closing. They're looking for ready to play players now. So I think they go with Jared Butler here.
Okay. Good pickup. We'll see if they trade KCP and Kuzma and maybe Schroeder in a sign and trade. Who knows what the Lakers do? But Lakers going with Jared Butler. Okay. All right. Who's up next? Is that me?
That's you.
Houston Rockets coming up next. Okay. So we got Jalen Green off the board early with the second pick. I mean, Rockets are a shit show, basically. I mean, you can go anywhere here. So you know what? I'm going to look for them to try to figure out a way to get out of this John Wall contract.
Mm.
I'm going to go Sharif Cooper here. I'm going to go Sharif Cooper here with H-Town. Get the playmaker in here.
Nice. To make them more exciting.
Yeah.
I know he's going to.
I like that. So let's go Sharif Cooper with the Houston Rockets. Up next, Corey checking in with the
Houston Rockets.
Houston Rockets.
All right, let's make him more exciting. You know, he made it. He slipped past Orlando at 8. I'm gonna take him at 24 for Houston. A little empty on the wing. He got good size. I'm gonna take Zaire Williams here.
Nice. Okay.
So Jalen Green, Sharif Cooper, Zaire Williams is how they in the first round in Houston.
That's a Ball is Life mixtape.
Yeah, that's nice.
Trio.
First team.
Yeah, that's nice, bro. P's up with the Clippers.
Clippers, there's some options. You don't know what's going on with Reggie Jackson. He may get some money. So I like Bones Highland there. But I did not expect Isaiah Jackson to still be here. And he would be a little bit more playable in a small ball lineup that they like to go to in the playoffs. Not that, he's ideal, but he would be out there better than Zubac.
Yeah.
So we're going to just go Isaiah Jackson out of Kentucky for the Clippers, man.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. All right, up next, JD representing the Denver Nuggets. How you feeling?
Okay. I think the Nuggets here, they're looking at what happened with Murray. They had to bring Rivers in. Campazzo is just, a solid backup stopgap player. So I think they're looking at Donsumu, Springer. They're looking at Primo, but I think they go with Nashawn Highland here.
Bones Highland, okay.
Bones Highland.
That'd be a nice one for them. All right. The Brooklyn Nets. I'm selecting for the Nets. Who's
Come on, CP.
Who's the last ranked player? Who's the last ranked player here?
Let's look at the undrafted list.
Yeah, give me the undrafted list.
They're forfeiting the pick.
Yeah, they are forfeiting the pick.
Just want to give it to the Knicks. They're letting us have it.
I'll tell you, man. Who we got here? You know what? I think the Nets will go front court help here. Obviously, with the backcourt being so stacked, I think they will go front court here, and I'll go Day'Ron Sharpe. I'll go Day'Ron Sharpe out of North Carolina. Give him some size. Don't know where they're going at the 5. Blake can only do but so much there. Really no center help, no rebounding. So we'll go Day'Ron Sharpe.
All the Montverde kids off the board now. Officially. All right, so I got Philly at 28.
Yeah.
All right. I think Philly wants some shooting help. I think they want somebody who might be able to step in right away, help them compete. I'm going to take Quentin Grimes.
Nice.
He reminds me of Danny Green.
Yeah.
Who probably will be replacing. That is nice.
Yeah. Quentin Grimes going
Long Island legend Danny Green.
Shout out to Danny Green. I loved Danny Green when I was a kid because he dunked on Duke. I don't know who he dunked on, but in North Carolina versus Duke game, he dunked on somebody. It was incredible.
I will say the team I coach, we smacked up his younger brother pretty recently. So shout out to Danny Green's younger brother.
I think the chat wasn't feeling my Day'Ron Sharpe pick, man. They said it was too generous. Sorry, man. I'm just playing the game. All right, who's up? Is that me? I'm up with the Suns.
I'm up with the Suns.
Okay.
If I'm not.
Yep, he's up.
So Phoenix. This is why I say you took my pick. CP.
Yeah.
Backup center. Day'Ron Sharpe would have been nice there. So we're still gonna get the size. We're gonna take some guys a little earlier than they're supposed to. I've been doing it all draft, so I don't mind it. Charles Bassey out of Western Kentucky is going to go to the Phoenix Suns just because they're a competitive team now. And they set the blueprint of taking guys earlier than they should with Cam Johnson, and we see how that worked out. So they're going to continue that that trend, and they're going to go Charles Bassey because they don't
size.
have a second-round pick anyway, I don't think.
Yeah, they need size, and they need some depth in the front court as well. We saw that in the finals. Even though, they can excel in the small ball lineup, there were times when Ayton got overwhelmed, on the boards, and the size of the Bucks just really hurt him. So I think the Suns really need that size. So that's a good pickup. Charles Bassey out of Western Kentucky. All right, JD, you're up.
This is the Utah?
This is Utah.
Okay. So I think at this point, Utah, they're looking at the fact that, we don't know what's going to happen with Conley and his age, even if he resigns. You have Jordan Clarkson there. You're looking to get Donovan Mitchell some scoring help or some shooting, some grit. I think it's between Springer and McBride. I think they go with McBride here.
Oh, good pickup. Really good.
McBride being a gritty player, he's like the Utah player as well.
Yeah, good pickup. All right, I'm up with the world champs. Interesting. Where did the world champs go here? Where do they go here? I think they could go with a backup point.
Yeah, they need some guard depth.
Maybe some guard depth, right? You had DiVincenzo there, who's coming off the injury. Yeah, I think they could use a backup point. Let's see who the point guards left. You have Springer, David Johnson, the Knicks.
I'll tell you what, draft Twitter is furious that Jaden Springer made it out of the first round.
Yeah.
It is. It's in shambles. This is crazy. Jaden Springer, Josh Primo, Josh Christopher,
Jason Preston,
JT Thor.
JT Thor. You know what? We'll go Springer here. We'll go Springer here. A lot of the prognosticators feel like he could be a solid role player, and I think with the world champs, he could fit right in. So I'll go with Springer.
Very Malcolm Brogdon-esque.
Yeah, we'll go with Jaden Springer out of Tennessee. All right, Knicks fans, here we go. 32nd pick. We got some options on the board here. What are you guys thinking? Let's hear from the fans. See what you guys want to do. All right, let's go with Ari. Ari at 32, man. What are you thinking?
All right, well, I want to talk about something else, but it's all right. I'll throw Jaden Springer.
He's gone, man. He's gone. He's gone, bro.
All right, I go with a big man so we could trade Mitch for Bradley Beal in a package at the deadline.
All right, who we got? What bigs do we got left? Let's go to the centers. Who you want? You want Quaida? You want Luka Garza? Who you want?
Oh, please, no.
I'll take Luka Garza. I'll take Luka Garza.
Okay, so
at least he's a winner. At least he knows how to play basketball. He's a high IQ guy. I would take him.
All right, appreciate the call. I'll put you on hold, Ari, so we can talk about what you wanted to talk about afterwards. Appreciate that. All right, Ari playing twice, no doubt. Okay, let's go to Nick's from Hell's Kitchen. Nick, whose name are you putting in the ring here?
At this point, I want a dog. The
Okay.
kid from Illinois, Ayo Dosunmu.
Okay, he's going some depth. He's going Ayo here. All right.
Big fans, you're disappointing me.
There you go. All right. Thanks for the call, Nick from Hell's Kitchen. Okay. Next up, who we got here? Let's go to Steven from Detroit. Steven, who you think this pick is? Whose name are you putting in the ring?
I feel like we need more scorers. So my name I'm putting in the ring, BJ Boston.
He's going with the Kentucky connection, the Worldwide West Calipari, Leon Rose connection, BJ Boston. Not a bad idea. All right. Appreciate the call, bro. And last but not least, Brock from Pennsylvania. Brock, whose name are you throwing in the ring here, man?
Give me Jason Preston out of Ohio.
Okay, all right. He's going with the point. Jason Preston. All right, so we have our choices here, people. Thanks for the call, Brock. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, let me get my music here before we deliberate with the panel. P, you said the Knicks fans were disgusting you, man. Let's start with you, man. What are you thinking?
Besides himself.
It's atrocious out here. The options that we've given our other Knicks fans in the comment section who are going to have to pick between these four. Luka Garza, old, and is ranked 55th on that thing for a reason. Preston, we already took a guard. We have guards already. We don't need another one. Me and Corey talked earlier today, and I forgot what he called it, but he said there was a guy who has this theory of like you take these guys who enter early.
Pre-draft. Yeah.
So Corey, can you explain this for them?
Yeah. So PD Webb, he likes to use this term pre-drafting a prospect, where you draft a kid basically a year early, later in the draft. So we were using the example of Josh Primo, where, he only averaged 8 points, 3 rebounds, nothing crazy, but he showed all these flashes super young. If he stayed in college, he probably would be a lottery pick next year.
Interesting.
But now he's going to fall to the back end of the lottery. It plays out like this mock draft. He's a second rounder. So you take a kid who's probably going to be a lottery pick a year early and get him, at a place where the value is going to be crazy and the risk is minimal.
Interesting.
So with that being said, we have options with Josh Primo, JT Thor, Greg Brown out of Texas. At the 32nd pick, after we use 2, that's what I want to use that pick for. So like JT Thor out of Auburn is a guy who right now is like Primo. The value is low because it was just little flashes here and there. But if he stayed another year, he probably would be in a lottery conversation too. Shoots the ball well at 6'10", pick and pop from 3, can attack closeouts and finish, blocking shots. We call that unicorn in this generation. We could put that together with a 32nd pick, and he's a teenager. If we put that all together, we have us a diamond in the rough, and the Knicks have done that well. As a Knicks fan, I like where we are because our lottery picks are not on a crumb. But post-lottery, we leave with Mitchell Robinsons, Emmanuel Quickly's. Let's continue that. The young guys who go up a bit more than our Kevin Knoxes, our Frank Ntilikina's, and of the world. So that's why I said that. We got a lot of what Preston is. He's my age, damn near, right? Luka Garza. Matt Garza is a pitcher. Luka Garza is 33, right? He's like Perry Ellis' age. Why would we want these guys? So, that's all.
JD, how you thinking?
Again, under this scenario, I think you got Kispert, you got Mann. I think you have an opportunity, as the guys here are saying, to kind of swing for a kind of like a young, high upside player. I would think about Josh Christopher. He's 215 at 6'4". He's 19 years old. To me, he has very high upside. He has a great body to fill up. I would say Christopher or Isaiah Todd.
Okay.
Another one. Yep. Good picks, JD.
One of those two.
I think I'm gonna go a little bit safer, man. I think I would, at this point, I think we rolled the dice on Trey. I think we went with a good pick in Kispert at 19. I would go back with defense. I go with Ayo out of Illinois. I go a little bit of defense, some tenacity, give me some hustle, fit right in the garden, bring him off the bench with Quickly, 2-man game with Obi. We'll see what Quickly's gonna be, man. I feel like year 2 of Quickly's gonna be great, but I'm going with Ayo, man. I'm going with Ayo. Junior, I think he'll be a guy that'd be ready to go fill a role with the Knicks. I think, again, that's something that Tibbs would value, even though I don't see us even fielding 3 picks for the sake of the game, for the sake of the mock. I go with Ayo. But let's see what... I'm seeing a lot of CP, please override this in the chat. Because overwhelmingly...
Ayo is good, man.
Yeah.
Ayo is a good...
thoughts on him.
And I'm telling you, Tibbs would love him for sure. This kid defensively is a monster. And he's got good enough size. He's going to be able to guard 3 positions. He's got better every year. And I'm telling you, watch his kid interview. his basketball IQ is off the charts. He gets it. So he'll help you, right away. And I still think he's got the athleticism to improve in the league. With that said, I would go Josh Christopher.
Just real quick, CP, because I think when you get to this point, in the league just likes to hype up players that we like to project that we don't know what they're going to become. The league overvalues that, and they're called assets. So I think at 32, you try to get a Christopher, one of those young players, a primo that you can develop. And once you put them out on the floor and they have a 2, 3, 4 game stretch where they play well, then everybody markets them as an asset. So I think you're trying to build the asset, value, so that later on, if you have to make a trade, you can market some of these young players as a potential valuable piece in a big trade.
I agree with JD because I think the guys that we named, all the young guys, especially Primo and Christopher, they're going to do something that I like to call, it's a Chicago thing that we say, maybe it's global. As soon as the summer league starts, they're going to show their ass in the summer league. They're going to show their asses. Those are dudes who are bucket getters like Cam Thomas, and they're going to do that in the summer league. Plus, my thoughts slip, but yeah, they're going to go crazy. And Ayo, the most important thing, Corey, that you didn't say is Ayo's from Chicago.
I know he's a Chicago kid. Through and through.
Morgan Park, Chicago. We need Chicagoans on the Knicks roster, man.
So for the sake of the poll, I would have picked Ayo, but I completely forgot that Quentin Grimes is still on the board, and that's where I would go with 30.
Nah, he went to Philly.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he went to Philly.
Oh, I'm tripping. All right. Forget all that. Ayo it is. But the chat has voted overwhelmingly. They're going Kentucky, and they're going with Brandon Boston Jr.
I guess he falls under the Christopher Primo. Just year, but still young.
Yeah. All right, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There we have it. For the New York Knicks, we selected Corey Kispert with the 19th pick. You selected Trey Mann at 21. And you selected BJ Boston at 32. I like that, man. What do you guys think, man? I like that. If we came out of the draft with that, I'd be pretty damn pleased, honestly.
You got a good mix of ready to play now and potential.
I like that, man.
That's summer league roster. The anticipation for summer league, if this plays out that way,
Vegas would be lovely, man. Vegas would be lovely.
Yes, this is like Corey said. We got a little bit of mix of everything. I think. What I would want as a Knicks fan is if this happened, I would want to be able to go on my Twitter timeline, and I don't want to see any Knicks fans complaining because we got everything.
Yeah,
we got plug in, we got shooting, we got guard. We took a home run shot. Like no, Knicks fans always find something to complain about. If it ends up like this, let's just all be happy and give our front office, who proved and earned our trust, let's give them a bit of faith and trust until they show us otherwise.
Absolutely, man. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think in the chat? Kispert, Trey Mann, BJ Boston, you want to comment on the mock? Hit us up. Call us up, 657-383-1509. We'll take a couple calls and then wrap. I want to make sure that people listening on the podcast can get this in before tomorrow night's draft. But, so far so good, man. I wanted to run through this on auto pick so that we could see the whole board.
So wait, we're not gonna run a poll for 58?
No. No, we're not running through the second round. But that was ill. I thought that was dope though. Let's go back to Ari. Ari, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. I didn't know BJ Boston was on the board when I said Luka Garza, and I was completely unprepared for that situation.
I felt that. But you tried, man. I appreciate you for participating.
It's all right, yeah. So, listen, for the first things first, this whole Duarte, move up for Duarte talk, why is the leaks coming out of the Knicks organization? You can't, either there's a rat in the organization or not, but this has to be smoke. If there's any validity to this, It's just not a good look for the organization.
Well,
that
I
their
mean, it could be
cards
coming
are
out of
in
Golden
the
State.
open.
Who knows? Who knows where it's coming from? Could be coming from someone who spoke
Any-
to Golden State or spoke to the Knicks. You never know. Or maybe it's made up. Who knows?
That's true. That's true. But in my opinion, I don't think we should move up at all, man. I really don't think we should move up at all. I'm looking at these mock drafts and these different websites and hearing you guys talk and just seeing what the chat says. And between 10 and 25, I'm seeing Kai Jones go as high as 12. I'm seeing him go as low as 24.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, you know, if there's no consensus on these guys, it all seems like they're in the same tier. I'm not going to trade a first-round pick to move up 5 spots to get someone that might not even pan out, right?
Yeah.
Also, it was a COVID year last year, so like it's even more risky. This draft is even more risky. You need to have more assets because at the end of the day, you know the Knicks are going to be big game hunting, right? And if you get 2 good players, right, it just makes other players on the team more expendable for a Bradley Beal or for a different type of trade. So I don't see the reason to, you know, move up at all unless you're moving into the top 10 or something and you can get like a real stud. I would just stay pat. There's guys that are good going into the second round. I would just stay pat. And, you know, if I had a choice to pick between the picks, I would pick any one of these 3. I'd pick Trey Mann because we need a point guard and a shooter. I'd pick Trey Murphy because I like his versatility. And I like Kai Jones. And I know Kai Jones is a little bit of a project or whatever, but, you know, I think his upside is too much. And I think the benefit of when you do have 2 first-round draft picks is that you could take a swing on a guy like Kai Jones, draft someone more ready, like a Trey Mann or a Kispert or whoever falls to us. And then even if it doesn't work out, you still have 2 assets that you could utilize in a trade. So that's what I would do. I would take 2 guys. I wouldn't trade up under any circumstance unless I get in the top 10. I would take a high-risk project-type player on 1 pick, and then the other pick I would take a guy who's ready to play right now and, you know, let them fight it out. So that's what I would do.
All right. Appreciate the call, man. Yeah, I think I couldn't agree with you more, man. And I think they're in a perfect position to do such a thing, you know, with 19 and 21. So, unless, you know, something drastic happens and there's someone with a super high ceiling that they can trade up for at 14 or 12, 13, and go for it. But I don't see it. I would just stand pat and with 19 and 21 and swing for the fences on one and go safe on the other.
Yeah, let's all put out smoke screens. Like CP, you tweet after this show, like you're hearing rumblings.
Usman Garuba.
And I'll do the same thing and I'll tweet out. Let's just send a bunch of smoke screens so that Trey Murphy can be at 19. That's just
certainly hope so. Certainly
get picked up by like NBA Central and blasted out.
Now real GMs are looking and saying, "Hey, we should look at this guy.
Yeah,
he might go." Yeah.
I will say if the Knicks want Trey Murphy tomorrow, the way it looks like, you probably have to get maybe to 15, because I can see Oklahoma City, young team. I can see some of these teams ahead of them picking Trey Murphy. So, but we'll see.
No, I agree. Yeah. I honestly would not be surprised if Trey Murphy is like the Patrick Williams of this year's draft, where he goes way higher than any of us. He's just too ideal. Like if I'm Memphis, they're at 10, correct?
Yep.
I would think about it. If I was Memphis, I would think about Trey Murphy. If personally,
he seems like a Memphis pick.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah. With Brooks, you got Ja, then you got Jared Jackson. That'd be a nice pick.
Desmond Bane's a lot of shooting out there.
Yeah,
and also with the leak with the Golden State offer, you know, in terms of the players that were leaked that supposedly are Knicks targets, who knows who's leaking that? But that could also be, you know, if it came from the Knicks, that could also be the Knicks putting that out there just to get Murphy to fall in the event that they're not able to trade up. Yeah. Maybe someone else, you know, reaches for some of these guys. So they put those names out there just so that the actual guy they want in the event they are not able to trade up maybe falls to them at 19.
Yeah, true story, man. Let me take 2 more calls and then we'll wrap up. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Thought that was fun, man. I hope the fans enjoyed that, you know, getting involved in the process. Let's hear from them, man. Jay from Florida, a.k.a. the Debbie Downers in the building. Jay, first off,
Yeah, Debbie Downer.
First off, please rate the Knicks mock draft, man. How do you rate that? Kispert, Trey Man, BJ Boston. What are you thinking, bro?
I would never draft Kispert at 19. Never.
This guy's never happy, in college. Man.
Can't do it.
Never happy, bro.
Can't do it. I need more upside, man. The only way I'm trading up. Hold on, we got to run it up. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that.
Protocol. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to hit that first. Listen, I'm trading up for Moody or Josh Giddey. Super high level prospects. I'm not trading up for anybody else. People say I'm hating. I'm not a real fan because I hate the fourth seed. I hate the fourth seed. It did nothing for us. We should be 11 or 10. We should have a better pick. We overachieved, right? I don't care. I'm just saying it right now. Fourth seed was a complete waste. We can't build a team how we need to build a team. But at 18, I'm probably going to go with Zaire Williams. Could put the ball on the ground, hit the nice jump shot. We need a wing. We need somebody that could actually score. I'm not a Chris Duarte fan. 25 years old, I'm good. I'm good on the old players. I'm not doing it. We did with Obi last year. I'm not doing it. It's too old. Zaire, Keon Johnson. If Jalen Johnson drops, I'm picking him. I don't care about the red flag. CP, the last time we didn't pick a player because of red flag, it became Michael Porter Jr. I'm picking Jalen Johnson, and I'm figuring it out later.
Jalen Johnson is no Michael Porter Jr., my brother. I'm going to just let you know now.
Yeah, but I feel like you got to take the risk with a kid like that. We got to figure it out. I've been watching his tape all day at Duke. I feel like he did a lot of nice things at Duke. He brought the ball to the court. He was a good player at Duke. So I'm taking the risk. I think Trey Murphy's going to be gone. The hype is too much. I feel like we priced ourselves out of Trey Murphy. Cam Thomas, like I've been talking about for the last couple weeks, you got to take Cam Thomas. We got locked into Randall taking 100 ISOs against Atlanta. We need somebody that can help him with the ISOs. So I'm taking Cam Thomas all day. Like CP said, I love Ayo. Ayo can play defense, hit a jumper. He got that tenacity that Tibbs loves. And then Jared Butler, man. Jared Butler's nice. He reminds me of George Hill. He could play if the heart thing comes back okay. I would take a fly on Jared Butler. BJ Boston was top 5 on ESPN's poll last year, a top 5 prospect. If he's there at 32, I'm picking BJ Boston. We got to see what he can do in the league. You know, we got to take risks, man. We need a lot. Last thing, we got to sign Lonzo. We have to stop stargazing for Bradley Beal, Trey. I love Ari. Nobody's coming to the Knicks, bro. We got to sign our own players. We got to build organically. I'm telling you, bro. I'm losing faith. I don't see nobody coming to the Knicks. Bradley Beal, Lillard, they all staying or going somewhere else. We got to sign Lonzo to whatever it takes. Get them in the building and keep building this thing organically with our own players. Stop stargazing. I feel like the down play of this whole front office is they care about stargazing too much, man. We got to figure out what we can get consistently and put together a proper, cohesive roster. I'm going.
Drops the mic.
Jay from Florida definitely came in with an agenda. He gave Duarte one more year instead of 24. He says he's 25. And literally every player that has some upside, he wants the Knicks to draft.
That's my guy, man.
Definitely had a game plan,
bro. The Debbie Downer does not miss, man. Go ahead, Pete.
If we walk out of the draft and we have Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, and then Jalen Johnson, that is disgusting for us. That is disgusting.
Oh man, bro. Oh man. All right, 2 more calls. We'll wrap up. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Remember, the draft show starts tomorrow about 8:15. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Come through. A ton of giveaways going on right now. Got a lot of autographed merch on the way. I got a autograph RJ basketball. We got autograph Patrick Ewing basketball. We giving away autograph RJ 8x10 photo. We got 4 tickets, 2 sets of 2, going 12 rows behind the dugout to the Mets versus Nationals game. So the Mets fans, we got a little something for everybody. Manscaped is jumping in the giveaway train. So it's going to be a crazy night tomorrow. Make sure you guys are keeping it locked. Val, what's going on, man?
What's up? I don't think the Knicks should do any trading of draft picks because we're not a team that could recruit well, so we need as much depth as possible. I was thinking maybe at 32 we can draft that 6'11" kid, Vrins, and possibly in the first round, could we do something where we trade Knox for a late first rounder or one of those late teams, and hopefully Trey Mann is still on the board there. That way we could keep adding depth and pieces. And Trey Murphy's gonna be going. So I'm just try to get as many picks as you can and possibly package some of the leftover draft picks we have already.
Appreciate the call, Val. Appreciate the call, man.
Always.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting a 4th-round pick for Kevin Knox right now, fam. I just don't see it right now, man.
You're not getting an NFL pick for him.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting an NFL 6th-round pick for Knox right now, man. You know? And he played football in high school. Shout out to Kev, man. That's my guy, but, you know, it's tough sledding for him right now. Where did this... I ran an auto pick after we selected through 32. Let me see who picked up Renz in this thing. I don't even think Renz
Maybe nobody
got picked up. Nobody.
Renz he's an internet superstar.
Yeah, he is.
You know, but
he is.
You talk about you want to take a project.
Yeah.
You could take Renz.
Renz is just happy to be here, man. He literally follows everybody that speaks his name. I like that, man. Oh, man. I told him once you get to the Knicks, they're gonna cut all that off anyway, but enjoy it. No shade. All right. Last call of the night, Angel. Let's wrap it up, man. What you think of the mock and how you feeling about tomorrow?
Yo, what's good, fellas? Salute. Hit that thumbs up for y'all boys. Hit that subscribe button. Feel me? But hey, listen. If we ended, with that mock draft, I mean, obviously, if you get Kipper, man, I would be definitely happy about that. But I just don't think he's gonna be there at 19.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as Trey, man, I got him going to the Knicks at 21 anyway. If I'm the Knicks, this is what I do. At 19, when you look at a lot of these teams, man, you gotta understand, like, you can't just have a guard that can just pass the ball. You need some lightning, man. That's why I like Cam Thomas. I definitely would support that move. And then I'll do the safe pick and then pick Trey, man, at 21.
Mm-hmm.
Now with 32, I'll be honest, man. I would even try to, maybe look at Isaiah Jackson from Kentucky, and I would be cool with that, or BJ. I'm cool with that. But, we need something better when it comes to the guards, bro. Like, I'm just done with Alfred Payton. His layups are like food poison, bro. It's just, I can't take it no more. It's the same thing with Frank Ntilikina. I mean, like, we've been dealing with this for years. We got to have some kind of explosiveness in the guard position. When you look at a lot of these playoff teams, look at the Warriors, man. Their guard play is outstanding. Look at the Bucks. They got great guard play. Look at Miami. They got great guard play. When you look at a lot of these, look at Atlanta. Great guard play. So we got to hit when it comes to the guard, man. Have one safe pick.
Yeah.
But, take a chance on somebody like Cam Thomas. Like, everybody keeps saying he don't play defense. Well, guess what? You got players in the draft right now that play defense and can't score. None of these players are perfect. That's the whole point of development. You got to develop these players.
Fair.
And we definitely got to, we just got to stick with the best available talent. My opinion, that's what I would go with,
Okay.
And in the free agency, we just got to make smart moves. Don't risk the cap space for 2022.
Yeah.
And, I know Jay from Florida was saying about, it was a waste being a 4th seed. It really wasn't, because this is how I look at it. If you want superstars to come here, you can't be flat garbage, because we had to learn the hard way when we were thinking about Kevin Durant. You got to show these players that you're consistently in the playoffs. Now, we know we're not going to win a championship right now, but if you build a great team, then superstars can look at that and say, you know what? They were a bad team a couple years ago, but they're stable in the front office.
Yeah,
they got a good young team. They always got cap space. And, why wouldn't I join? And obviously, the Knicks always got money to get 1 or 2 players. So that's why we got to build from the ground up, and it's looking real good right now. And listen, we were a 4th seed with nobody at the point guard position. So we just got to stay positive, man. And as always, guys, be safe. And thank you for taking my call. Appreciate it.
You, my dude. Great call, Angel. Great call. Great show. Definitely want to thank the panel first and foremost, man. Corey, P, JD did a great job on the mock draft, man. Appreciate you guys coming through as always, man, and just bringing some great insight, a lot of fun to the show, man. So thanks again. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Remember, the show's presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com and a promo code Knicks for 20% off plus free shipping. And this show is also available in audio podcast format, man. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the major podcast platforms on KnicksFanTV. So if you miss it on video, we miss it live, you can always catch it on audio podcast format. Corey, let the people know where they can find you, man.
You can follow me on Twitter at The Hardwood Mag, on YouTube, The Hardwood Herald. You can find a bunch of scouting videos. And if you want more draft stuff on audio format, hit up the Draft Deck podcast. Got an episode coming out with P tomorrow morning.
Nice.
You get all the draft stuff you'll need at the links.
Yes, sir. Great show as always, man. P, let them know where to find you, man.
They find me everywhere. Just Pee Wee the Plug. I should be the only one that pop up. There should not be a duplicate, a second, a third, anything like that. And I'm just all basketball talk, man. We talking free agency off season. We had playoff recaps, Through the Wire podcast Tuesdays and Saturdays. Got some shows cooking up with Bleacher Report. And yeah, I'll be on the Draft Deck with Corey and my guy Albert, and that will be dropping tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, just gear up for the draft, man. Knicks, this is our time right here. Our future is right here.
True story, man. True story. And after draft, we swinging right into free agency, man. Sunday and Monday. So hopefully you'll be back on the show, man, and join us for the free agency shows as well, because it's gonna be a busy week, man. JD, go ahead and sign out, bro.
Yeah, JD Sports Talk NY at Twitter. And in terms of YouTube, JD space Sports Talk together for the YouTube channel. Just dropped our own final mock draft video this morning with Stephen Fox as a draft guest. And just ready for tomorrow, man. This is a huge moment. It's probably the biggest moment in the franchise over the last, how many years? Mm-hmm. I think the draft tomorrow will say a lot about this franchise. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see if Tom Thibodeau and the front office are all on the same page. I think we'll be able to get closer to finding out tomorrow. So I can't wait.
And I think it'll also give us some insights into what they do in free agency, man. If they don't come out of this with a point guard tomorrow, I think, your starting point guard could be Lowry, could be Conley, maybe CP3, an outside chance. I think they're going to go veteran regardless, but if they don't come out with a point guard, I think you could be sure they're going to. Maybe it's Lonzo. Jay from Florida said he wants Lonzo, so we'll see what happens, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, same place, 8:15 or so, once the draft kicks off, and yeah, man, get ready for it. Peace to Knicks Fan TV, Dave, TM, all the mods. Great show as usual.